This is Daniele Diggs.
What did I miss? What did I miss? Virginia, my home, sweet home. I want to give you a kiss.
This is Daniele Diggs.
Y'all look scared. Look back. Blood on the ground. Look straight. They still shooting.
This is Daniele Diggs.
Ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun.
And this is Daniele Diggs.
The difference between me and you is I ain't no killer.
My point is, you know Daniele Diggs. I think he'll win an EGOT. Let's talk about it.
What's that? I want it. I forgot why I originally came in here.
Oh, that belonged to Philip Michael Thomas, the actor who played Tubbs on Miami Vice.
Well, who's an EGOT?
EGOT is not a person, TJ. It's a goal. It stands for Emmy, a Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
To be an EGOT winner is to be in rarefied air. Only 21 people have managed to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. The list includes such stars as Audry Hepburn, Mel Brooks, Viola Davis, and Elton John. Do these already very successful people care about such things? Maybe, I don't know. However, you have to think that wherever there's an incredibly exclusive group, there are people wanting to get into it. While there's a lot of celebrities very close to joining this exclusive club, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at one of my favorite artists right now who is a lot closer to joining this group than people might think.
Let's start taking bets for the next person to EGOT, to win an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. I think my money is on Daniele Diggs. That's because Daniele has one of the most varied resumes in entertainment.
Now let's start with the obvious one. Daniele Diggs already has a Tony, and is definitely his most popular performance. His explosive portrayal of both Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton earned him a Tony Award for Best Feature Actor in a Musical. This is most likely where most people know him from, as Hamilton is gonna be the biggest and most successful thing he will probably ever be a part of by a wide margin. For many, myself included, he was their favorite part of their production, which is even more impressive because he had serious doubts about his ability to be in the world of musical theater, thinking initially that he was there just to test out the raps as his friend Lin-Manuel was coming up with them.
And I knew they had me there to really try out the rap stuff on. That's what I assumed. It's like, but Lynn's writing some like barred up raps and I can do them on the first time that he shows them. So I don't have to, it won't, they'll know what they really sound like if I do them. That's what I assumed was my function there.
Obviously, winning a Tony is incredibly impressive, but to be nominated and win on your first ever time on Broadway is even more impressive. And it's a good thing, too, that he was able to win for Hamilton, because I'm not sure we'll see Daniele return to Broadway anytime soon. While he has participated in a number of different plays since Hamilton, including 2019's White Noise, he has stated that he never really intended to be a musical actor, and really only became a part of Hamilton because of his friendship with Lin-Manuel.
What inspired you to be in musicals, Daniele?
I think my friend writing a part for me in a musical was what did that. I'm not a musical theater guy. I had no experience with Hamilton's the only one I've ever done, and I assume the only one I'll ever do.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
Why do you say that?
It was a very specific thing that got me into that world, having a genius friend. That's really what it was.
The other obvious one is the Grammy, because, once again, Diggs has already crossed that one off, and once again, it's because of Hamilton. In 2016, he and the original cast of Hamilton won a Grammy for the Best Musical Theater Album. And while it'd be easy to stop there, I do want to talk about the fact that I think he could win another Grammy in his career. Obviously, his music career is not limited to just Hamilton. Diggs and childhood friend William Huston, along with Huston's college roommate Jonathan Snipes, formed the industrial hip-hop group Clipping. At the time of recording, they have 4 albums out, but have just announced a new album, Dead Channel Sky, coming out this March, along with a tour that they've only announced a few dates for. Please consider coming to Kansas City. And while it might seem unlikely that an indie industrial hip-hop group that makes music, to put it lightly, can be a bit abrasive sometimes, could ever get nominated, let alone win a Grammy, I have to disagree. First of all, as someone who really loves clipping, they absolutely have the talent to write an album that could be popular enough to be considered for a Grammy. Most of their albums have been very conceptual, and they've received recognition for that. Their sophomore album, Splendor and Misery, a sci-fi concept album about a slave aboard a starship, was nominated for the prestigious EGOT Award. Also, as one final point, the Grammys have always been kind of a mess when it comes to awarding and recognizing hip-hop, and have been called out on it. So I would say that nothing is out of the question for that one, for better or for worse. Especially since David is already a celebrity and very well known, and there's nothing that award shows love more than just giving it to celebrities. So if it works in this case for clipping, so be it. I'm more than happy with that. Now, to get to the awards David doesn't have yet. Now, David Diggs has been popping up on TV shows like Blackish and The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and he's even landed lead roles like in Snowpiercer. He already has an Emmy nomination for the Disney Plus recording of Hamilton, which, you know, I don't know if he wants all of his awards just to come from Hamilton. He's done other things. He's also a writer and executive producer of the show Blindspotting, which itself is a spin-off of the movie he and childhood friend Raphael Cassell wrote and starred in. The show did win an Emmy, but it was for outstanding choreography. He has also portrayed Frederick Douglass in the miniseries The Good Lord Bird about abolitionists and Kansas legend John Brown. The show picked up a good deal of awards nominations, including a couple of Emmy nominations. Diggs is also set to join the cast of The Boys for its upcoming season in an undefined role. Now, obviously, none of these things guarantee David an Emmy, but it is to say that he continues to be in a lot of TV projects that are at least getting some recognition from the Emmys. And if that trend continues, I don't think it's a matter of if, but a matter of when that he wins one. Now, to the big one. Definitely the most challenging hurdle remaining in David getting an EGOT is getting an Oscar. Heck, his buddy Lin-Manuel still hasn't gotten one, despite being nominated twice. However, there are a lot of categories and ways someone can win an Oscar, and I have full confidence that David Diggs will eventually win one. And while he hasn't clinched a nomination yet, he's definitely been building an impressive film resume. His work in Blindspotting, once again a movie that he co-wrote and starred in, showcased his talent for blending social commentary with storytelling, and while it was recognized for a lot of other award categories, and the Oscars did kind of recognize it, but not enough to give it a nomination, I really think it could have gotten a nomination for original screenplay. I think that movie has aged very well, and I think it could have gotten nominated for a lot of categories if it had marketing behind it. He's also in this year's adaptation of the book Nickel Boys, an innovative movie shot entirely in POV, and after seeing it in theaters just last week, I can confidently say that it deserves all of the recognition it's getting. And while it only got nominated for 2 Oscars, I think it definitely was one of the best movies to come out last year, and it getting a Best Picture nomination reflects that. And while David Diggs isn't the lead by any means in this film, I think that he does a lot with his limited screen time and brings a lot of weight to what the main character has been through throughout his life. He has also taken his talents to smaller projects, such as a beautifully made and fun documentary about the scoring title battle between NBA legends George Gervin and David Thompson.
2 transplants from the ABA were in a historic battle for the league scoring title. They were separated by 0.2 of 1 point. The footage of their games does not exist.
There are many categories in the Oscars, and I think David Diggs' versatility could help him a lot in this aspect. What if clipping made a song or a soundtrack for a movie? What if David made a short documentary about his beloved hometown of Oakland? These are all things that could absolutely net him an Oscar and not necessarily have to be the incredibly difficult categories of lead actor, supporting actor, something like that. The fact that Diggs has had success and recognition for acting, writing, and creating music just shows his versatility as a performer, and I think it makes it more likely that he can have more avenues to eventually secure an Oscar in some fashion. If you look at the list of EGOT winners, the Oscars aren't all for Best Actor or Actress. There's a lot of different avenues that people go to getting their EGOT. An EGOT, at the end of the day, is a pointless recognition of people who are already incredibly successful. However, it is still difficult to achieve, and evidenced by how few manage to get it, and how many legends are just one award away. For someone who is clearly so versatile and talented to have so much success already into his relatively short career, I think it's more of a when and not an if that David joins this exclusive club of EGOT winners. Honestly, the biggest thing he has growing for him is that he already has a Tony, probably the most difficult of the four to secure. And if you look at people that are one away, most of them are missing a Tony. And most of them probably aren't going to do that because it requires a lot of time and actually having to consistently perform on Broadway for an extended amount of time. Fun fact, Eminem is a Tony away from an EGOT, and while 8 Mile the musical isn't the craziest of idea, I doubt we'll see Marshall on Broadway in the near future.
Purple Hippo Cinema, Purple